Hi guys, thanks so much for joining me for the very first follow along sequence. I thought we'd start at the beginning, so starting at the beginning of the day, this is a morning routine that's going to transition you out of bed. You can even do it with your eyes closed. I actually encourage that so that we can start really tuning into the body and deepening that mind-body connection. So we're also going back to the beginning in terms of basic foundational movement. So this sequence is going to mobilize the joints and work on activation of the major stabilizing muscle groups. So whether you're a complete beginner to exercise or even if you regularly work out already, this kind of movement is really, really important and often gets overlooked in favor of kind of more high intensity bang for your buck workouts that promise you fast results. But this kind of work where you really start to deepen the awareness and the understanding of your body is going to help protect it much more in the long run and also help to complement that higher intensity training. Mobility, super important, because it's one of those things, if we don't use it, we are going to lose it. So a little bit of daily mobility work is really going to help keep those joints nice and lubricated so we can maintain maximum range of movement, which is going to avoid soreness, stiffness, and also prevent injury as well. Then activation work is about tuning into the smaller local stabilizing muscles that help to support us and support our posture. So a really common thing is lower back pain, and often lower back pain is caused by a weakness around the core, so the spine is unsupported. So again, a little bit of work on this a day is just going to help us deepen the awareness of those muscles because they're quite deep, they're hard to feel and hard to switch on. So by doing a little bit of work a day, it's going to help us learn to switch them on, encourage them to work for us throughout the day when we're just walking down the street, but also in our workouts as well to help us keep nice correct form and also to recruit the muscle fibers more efficiently so that we get more out of our workouts. So now you know all the whys, here comes the challenge. This sequence is about 10 minutes, maybe just under. It's a nice little morning flow. So the challenge is, instead of snoozing that alarm for 10 minutes in the morning, like I often do, try this sequence instead. It's going to get you out of bed, hopefully feeling a little bit more ready for the day, a little bit looser, a little bit warmer. So give it a go. Please let me know how you get on if you give it a try, and enjoy. So take a few deep breaths here. You can stay under the covers if you want. And as you exhale, start to bring the knees gently up into the chest. Give them a little hug, a little rock side to side, just massage through the lower back. Start to gently take the knees apart and circle through the ankles, 4 one way, 4 the other way. Then start to circle through the knees, just really massaging into the hip sockets. Nice and gentle, really try and connect the breath to the movement, keep it flowing. Again, 4 one way, 4 the other way. Then take one knee across, find a nice spinal twist. Think about pressing the opposite shoulder back into the mattress. Take the gaze over to that hand. Hand comes to 90 degrees and you take 4 rotations here in the shoulder. Think about keeping the elbow still where it is and rotating through that forearm, trying to keep the wrist in line. And swap it over, take the other leg across, find the spinal twist. Again, trying to flatten those shoulder blades off. And then take that shoulder rotation, nice and controlled. You should feel it start to open up through that shoulder girdle. Try not to push too hard to the maximum range, just move nice and gently through it. Then take a little rock, come all the way up to seated, little stretch out, and then come to sitting just on the edge of the bed. So we're going to take 8 squats now. Pull those shoulders down, then reach the arms out. You're aiming to get the biceps up by the ears, and as you squeeze up, squeezing the glutes together, bring the arms back down to the side, and then taking the squat, just tapping onto the bed there. Depending on how low your bed is, you might be able to get a little bit deeper. The main thing is to really start to activate the glutes as you lift up and squeeze. Try and pull the tailbone underneath you to find that neutral pelvis every time. Then take one leg over across on top of the knee. Take the fingertips to the forehead, trying to get that knee right out to the side, sole of the foot slightly turned up towards you. Take 4 breaths here. So as you exhale, you hinge forward at the spine. Try and make it a hinge rather than a curve. So you're aiming to keep a nice flat back. 4 stretches over, you're going to feel that start to release through the side of the glute into the hips. It's a good one for opening up the hips. So again, sole of the foot slightly facing upwards, knee to the side. Exhale, gently press forwards. Really use those exhalations to deepen the stretch slightly. We're working dynamic stretches here, so we're not going to hold anything. Working through that range of motion, so just gently ease it open. Then coming up to standing, I'm going to take 4 spinal roll downs here. So starting upright, leading with the top of the head, rolling all the way down through the spine, walking 1 vertebrae at a time. So really try and find that articulation now through that spinal cord. All the way down, leading with the top of the head. You can soften the knees if you need to, depending on how tight your hamstrings are. On the 4th one, you're going to roll all the way down, then you're going to walk the hands out, come into a high plank. Squeeze there for a couple of breaths, finding that high plank position, then walk it gently back in, and again curling up through the spine. So top of the head leads down, you walk all the way out, pushing the floor away, trying to pull the shoulder blades apart, squeezing the glutes, finding a long line through the whole body. So you're trying to get that pelvis into a neutral position to set that posture. So feel that whole body start to activate now, right from the fingertips all the way down into the heels, sending energy in a nice long line through the body. And take 4 here, so one more time. And last one, walk it back in gently, rolling up slowly, and then coming back to the bed. This time, we're going to lay flat on our backs, taking the knees up to 90 degrees and the fingertips directly above the shoulders. So I want you to set the scapula now, so as you take the arm back, you feel the shoulder blade pressing down into the bed. Feel the lower back pressing down as well. So again, it's that neutral pelvis that you're trying to find. As you lower the leg, nothing moves through the lower back, nothing releases in that pelvis. So you take that leg as low as you can without letting anything release. If you feel it start to come off, you feel the lower back start to arch, try not to take the leg quite so low. So we're working opposition here, waking up the coordination a little bit as well as activating through the core. Think about the pelvic floor, those core muscles switching on. And bring it up off the bed. Come to kneeling, placing the elbows on the bed a bit like you say in your prayers. I'm going to take a shoulder stretch here. So as you exhale, you contract, you curve through the spine. Inhale, and then as you exhale, you're going to stretch through the shoulders. So inhale, contract. There we go. Exhale, find the stretch. Pull the shoulder blades back and down, away from the ears. Again, feel them sliding down the back. Try and keep the neck long. Try not to crunch it. Again, really working through that range of motion. Using the breath. 4 times. Then we're going to open up the chest. So take the palm to the bed. Really try and externally rotate that shoulder.
So inhale, bring it in, exhale, pushing the palm into the bed, taking the stretch and feeling that chest start to open. Again, it's a dynamic stretch, so we're moving through that range, using the exhalation to deepen the stretch. Taking that gaze over the shoulder as well, so you increase that twist a little bit further. One more time. And just set those shoulders again, give them a nice roll out. 4 rolls backwards, 4 forwards. Again, nice and controlled with those rotations. Just mobilising through the joints. Take a little head roll round to the right. And one to the left. Again, nice and controlled. Try not to let that neck crunch. Then, to finish off, forearms come onto the bed. You're going to take forearm plank. About 10 seconds. You can hold it a little bit longer if you feel like it. See that long line through the body there. So setting the shoulders down, drawing the tailbone underneath, squeezing the glutes, energy out through the heels and through the top of the head. Then gently bring it in. Take a little hang into the forwards fold. Knees can stay soft there. Roll it all the way up, stacking those vertebrae, finding your tallest posture, dropping those shoulders down, and you're ready for your day.